The other day, someone gave me a list of Aquarius syndromes. So I posted it and I'm like, I got to talk to the Aquarius about this one. This one is funny. So I'm going to do the introduction and then we're going to discuss some of the syndromes that Aquarius supposedly have. My name is QueenAusetHeru and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and pass it on to anyone and everyone who might like it too. Let me see. Please drop us a positive comment in the comment section. And if you want to get a reading done, email me or hit me up on social media. I would be so happy to give you a reading. I love giving readings. Also, underneath this video, if you want to join us on Patreon, please do. Let me see what else is underneath this video. Oh, if you want to give me a gift from my Amazon wish list, because gifts are my love language, that is underneath this video too. And if you want to give a donation to the channel, my Cashapp and my PayPal are also underneath this video. Thank you. Let's get into these syndromes, okay? All right, so the first one says Aquarius syndrome. Aquarius will clap back when necessary. Clapping back is when somebody says some hot shit. Okay? Somebody say some hot shit to you, and then you be like, oh, for real? I remember this one time I was watching this movie, and Queen Latifah was in the movie. And I think it was a movie about Bessie Smith. And I think Queen Latifah was playing Bessie Smith. And she had this one scene with Monique. And she was getting sassy with Monique, like, well, you know, I'm the best singer and you just jealous. I mean, she was getting real sassy with it because Monique was playing an older singer who was already well established and well liked. And now here comes Bessie coming up and taking her shine, basically, or trying to take her shine. And she looked, you know, she said her little, you know, Queen Latifah said her lines and everything about how, you know, Monique was jealous, blah, blah, blah. And Monique's character looked her up and down and said, take off my damn shoes. You cussing this woman now, talking shit to her in her house with her shoes on because she loaned her clothes to wear to perform. Talk about getting too big for your britches. Okay? So that's when you clap back. Somebody gets smart with you, says some okie doke to you, and you clap back like, oh, for real? Take off my shoes. How about this? You know, or you talking smack to somebody and then they start busting on you. That's clapping back. And will Aquarius do that? Yes. Yes, I will. It really depends on my mood, for real. Most of the time, when somebody says something stupid, I don't respond. You know, it depends. When I was younger, I did. When my head was a lot hotter, I responded immediately, and I will shut you down too. My father was known as Old One-Liner. He's an Aquarius, February 2nd. And his nickname was Old One-Liner because Daddy will shut you down with one line. He'd say some quick hot shit and everybody would shut up, you know? And so that's a very common Aquarius trait. But it's something that it depends on the Aquarius. Like I said, at this point in my life, I won't even respond. When people say hot shit to me, I completely ignore them. Like, oh, you talking to me? I completely ignore them. Most of the time it's online. So if somebody says something hot to you online, you can delete it, you can block it, you can report them, you can ignore them. You know, it's so easy at this point. So I just pretty much ignore them. And if somebody was face to face and said some hot shit, I probably would light him up. I do. I do. At this point, it doesn't happen frequently because I'm mostly just, you know, by myself working or whatever. But my family always got hot shit to say. And a lot of times we be lighting each other up. And then mind you, I don't see them often anymore. I'll talk about when we were younger, you know. Because I got one of them smart mouth, sarcastic kind of families, you know. So that's true about Aquarius. We will clap back when necessary, depending upon how we feel. Needs a mutual obsession kind of love. I just felt that in every part of my body, like, oh my God. A mutual obsession kind of love. Yes. I'm not going to say every Aquarius because certain Aquarius might not agree. That might be a little too much for them. Certain Aquarius going to be in the comment section like, no. All of that, pull all of that back. But some of us, yes. Yes, especially when you said mutually obsessive. Oh my God, because that reminds me of two people that are just hot for each other and just, come to, oh my God, yes. Yes, 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 1,000 times yes. When we're mutually obsessed with each other, that's the best kind of love. You're both into each other. Can you imagine? Think about all the times you've been into someone and they weren't into you. Or they've been into you and you weren't into them, Or the times when it was mutual. The times when it was mutual, that's when it's hot. That's when the passion is hot. Okay? That's when you're singing love songs. That's when I'm writing poetry. Oh my God. Yes, that is my favorite one. So I got 2 of these syndromes already. How about y'all? Let's go into 3. Appreciates the lyrics of a song. Oh, I got another one. Yes. If you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, or if you read the comment section, it is very, very common for me to write the lyrics of a song or a quote or a meme or write a little poem myself or find one online. I am known. I do that like every day. I do that like every day. And lyrics to songs are my favorite because a lot of people will sing a song, but you don't be thinking about them lyrics, baby. A lot of people do not think about the lyrics. They just sing the song. They just like the beat. Some of the times, if you really like a song, read the lyrics. If you're not really paying attention, really read the lyrics. Some of the songs, it's the metaphors. They paint some of the most intense pictures. I was thinking about Flowers by Miley Cyrus. And I posted that on my Facebook page today. And she said, we were good, we were gold, had a kind of dream that can't be sold. We were something till we weren't, had a home and watched it burn. And as I'm listening to her, I'm thinking of the metaphor of Game of Thrones with the dragons, Dracarys, and how they burn things. And I was just thinking about how when 2 people like her and, the gentleman that the song is supposed to be about, her ex-husband, you think about how a relationship burns down. So when she said, built a home and watched it burn, I thought about their relationship burning. Not just the house, because her house caught on fire, the house that she had with him, but it was like this double meaning to it, like this metaphor, like not only did their house burn down, their relationship burned down. And when I thought about Game of Thrones, and I was just like, wow, like for me, fire, the dragons, that all just came full circle. And I thought about times when I've burned the house down. Okay. How many times, how many times have I had to set it off? You know what I mean? And I thought about that. And so all of that came out of that one line. All of those thoughts about setting it off, about her house burning, about the metaphor, all of that came from that one lyric, that one line of lyrics, So yes, we're very into the lyrics. We think about them deeply. And that's why a lot of Aquarius are songwriters or poets, because we're able to convey that kind of energy. We're clever enough to figure it out. Overreacting to small things. We don't overreact to small things. It seems like a small thing to the other zodiac signs, because the thing that finally makes your Aquarius snap is usually a small thing. Now hear me out. You've done big things before that. Trust me. Whenever Aquarius have this tendency to ignore. We try to ignore things. Unless it's important and something that needs to be addressed, we would rather ignore and not have to go through the hassle, the drama, the emotions of some kind of uncomfortable bullshit, okay? But most of the time, this is not a good thing most of the times, because it means that the people who are around you will have done multiple things before you finally snap. And you ignored the first one, you ignored the second one, you ignored the third one, you ignored the fourth one, and then that last one could have been something small. But we're not snapping over the small thing. We're snapping over the accumulation of all of the things. So yes, that last thing probably was small. I'm going to give you that. But it's not just that thing. So if your Aquarius snapped on you because you lost their gloves, for example, they're getting ready to leave, you borrowed the gloves, you don't know where they're at, and the Aquarius snaps on you. It's not about them gloves. You've done several things before that glove incident. I guarantee you. You might not remember them. You might not have meant it that way. The Aquarius, may have not discussed it with you, because we usually don't. But you've done several other things that led up to that snap. So if your Aquarius snaps on you, there's something else underneath that. And if it's not you, it's somebody else. It's something that somebody else did. And then you did something small and the Aquarius snapped. But 9 times out of 10, it was you. Because most of us go out of our way not to take out things that other people do on someone else. Most of us will go out of our way not to do that. So 9 times out of 10, it was you. It was you. And you might not remember. It might not have been on purpose. Might even apologize for it. But I'm telling you, it wasn't that small thing. It wasn't them gloves. It wasn't them gloves. Because you done borrowed their hoodie and ain't give it back. You borrowed money last week. Your cat came in their room. You done other things too, but you might not have seen it that way. The Aquarius says what needs to be said. You know something? Sometimes things need to be said, and it drives me crazy that people will not say them. Okay? Because it's like either it's inevitable that's going to have to be said, or it's one of those kind of things that if we just talk about it, we can work it out. You ever have 2 people or a group of people have a problem and it never get worked out, like a family members or some friends, and it never get worked out because they won't talk about it? Sometimes things just need to be said. I remember I had this friend, and my friend was staying with a family member, and the family member's husband was doing creep stuff, okay? While she was staying there, he was like taking her dirty underwear and like not returning it, and under the guise of he was washing it, he was just doing creepy stuff like that, okay? And it was more than one incident, and I'm like, you need to tell your family member what's going on. And she was just so afraid to upset the family member, to say something to the family member. But meanwhile, the behavior is escalating. She's getting more and more uncomfortable to the point where she's staying in my house because she don't want to stay there. And she was up here for the summer, and it was like this whole big thing. And finally, I told her family member, I was like, look, we need to talk. This is a problem. And we all sat down and had the conversation. Did the family member like it? No. She was very upset about what the husband was doing. And she was upset that I knew about it, and was upset that the family member didn't tell her what was going on. And that's what I'm talking about. People get upset. It's like, talk about it. So me saying it is what ended them up clearing the whole situation up. Well, I can't really say it was cleared up. The husband ended up leaving. It was a whole big thing. But the bottom line is that it needed to be discussed. And then everything was fine. I mean, she got to go back. She stayed there for the rest of the summer. Everything was fine. But the point of the matter was that it needed to be said. Sometimes uncomfortable conversations need to be had. And Aquarius are known and often get in trouble for telling the truth. But sometimes it needs to be said. I think it always needs to be said. But if it's glaring and it's causing a big issue, Aquarius will say what needs to be said. Yes. And they will encourage you to say what needs to be said. I think that's one of the biggest problems with our society. People just don't say what needs to be said. And the last one, Aquarius has such a comforting aura. I feel like I have all of these syndromes. I don't know if my aura is always comforting. I know this a lot of times. Complete strangers come and tell me their business. That's been happening since I was a little girl. I remember I was a child. I was about, 7 years old. and I went to Catholic school. So I was walking down the street in my little uniform, and I got to the corner of my block, and a woman stopped me, and she was crying. Her whole face was red. She was a white woman, which was strange because I lived in a black neighborhood. So I'm not sure what she was doing there. But I don't know if she had black friends. I don't know what it was. And I never seen her before. And she was crying and her whole face was red. And she stopped me and she said, "Pray for me, please." And I said, "Huh?" I'm like 7. I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "You believe in God, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Please pray for me." And I was like, "Okay." And she kept walking up the street. It was the strangest thing. And I went in the house and told my mom. And my mom was like, "Well, pray for her." It was like, okay, my Capricorn mom, so practical. She's like, "Well, you said you're going to pray for her. Pray for her." So I did. And sometimes I still think about it and I still pray for her. I pray for her soul. I don't know who she was. Didn't even get her name. But, she asked. So I do it. I believe in prayer. I believe prayer is powerful. So I have all these syndromes. It's 6 of them, 2, 4, 6, yeah, and I have all of them. So you let me know if you have all of them too, if you're Aquarius or not. Do you have any of these Aquarius syndromes? All right, so we're going to do 2 positive comments. One came from It's Alexis 7152. A guy that I was friendly with for years, like 10 years, kept pursuing me. I finally gave him a chance. Oh my God, I know this is going in a bad direction. And things were going good, so I thought. And he ghosted me a month ago after seeing each other for a few months. I'm so confused and hurt. I've been driving myself crazy trying to figure out why. Most of the time when somebody ghosts you, it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. Now, there are times when I've ghosted a person because they were batshit crazy. Yeah, that has happened. Or they did something that was inappropriate or something like that. Yeah. But if none of those things happened and everything was going good and this person just ghosted you, 9 times out of 10, they had nothing to do with you. A person will ghost you for a lot of reasons. One time somebody ghosted me and I could have sworn I thought everything was good. Though we were friendly. I didn't understand what the hell was wrong with her. And she ghosted me and I didn't know what was wrong. And I found out like a long time later, months, maybe a year later, that she had gone through a really difficult time in her life. And she was engaging in the selling of herself. Let's put it like that. And I was like, oh, we had never been intimate or anything. We were just chatting online, and she just disappeared. And I couldn't figure out why she just disappeared. And the next time I saw her, she was talking about how that had been going on during that time. And she had basically shut down emotionally and was really going through it, So her ghosting me had nothing to do with me and everything to do with the fact that she was out in the street selling her goods, and didn't really want, thank goodness, to be, bringing anybody else into the drama that was her life at that time. So here I'm thinking, what did I do? I'm thinking, what did I do to her? And come to find out, it had nothing to do with me. So if everything was going well and you honestly can't think of anything you did, it's probably something else. And then sometimes it's because they're seeing someone else or someone else has come back from the past that they used to be seeing. A good buddy of mine was with this girl and they were together. He was over there all the time. He was cooking. He was paying bills. They were getting along really well. And all of a sudden she ghosted him. Come to find out, her baby daddy had got out of jail and came back to her. And she completely ghosted my dude. So it had nothing to do with him. It had to do with the fact that she had a stronger connection to someone else who came home and literally moved in. Like just came home with his stuff and was like, this is where I'm going to be at, Needless to say, it didn't go well for anybody involved, but it had nothing to do with my friend. My friend was thinking he did something and he didn't, So that's what I would say. And in that particular case, I feel like this. another thing I want to say about ghosting, if a person is that rude to do something like that, especially if it's going well, because people give me a lot of excuses for ghosting. There really isn't one. I mean, yeah, I can definitely understand if the person is unstable or violent. I get it. But if you just don't want to be bothered with somebody anymore because you're not feeling them, it's nothing to just send them a message. It's nothing to send them a text. It's nothing to send them an email and just say, this isn't working for me. Most people that ghost somebody are just cowards, inconsiderate. It's that kind of thing. They don't want to deal with it. I know the times that I did it when I was being a coward, I didn't want to deal with the other person's emotions. I didn't want to deal with, having the fucking integrity to just say, I'm not interested, And after experiencing it, doing it, and having it done to me in a very cold way, I realized that that's not the way to go. I realized that yes, there are cases where you have to ghost a person. They're acting nutty and you have no choice. But that's not most of the time. If we're being honest, most of the time it's because we don't want to be bothered. We don't want to be bothered with the dismount. We don't want to be bothered with the conversation, especially the Aquarius. A lot of us don't want to have the uncomfortable conversation, of all signs, that uncomfortable conversation we just don't want to do. So we just disappear, And I don't think it's a bad idea. If somebody isn't doing it for you, they're just not doing it for you. I just think it's cowardly not to say that. I would prefer you drop them an email than not say anything at all. And that's my 2 cents on it. Next one is Valenice B. Publicly subscribed for 6 months. This is old, so it's probably been over 6 months. Hello, thank you for publicly subscribing. All right, let's see what the Valenice has to say. Ghosting. Ghosting is a sign of immaturity and lack of emotional intelligence. That's what I was talking about. If we say we are grown, let's act like it. Hello. These are perfect examples and helps the other person move on accordingly without thinking it's something wrong with them. Exactly. Thank you for sharing. That's the thing, people. Don't let somebody go in their life thinking it's something wrong with them because you didn't have the courage to just say, I'm not interested. Or say there's somebody else. Just be honest. Or just say, I thought I did, but, emotionally I'm screwed up right now. I can't do this right now. Don't do that to another person. That's all I'm saying. Not just making them feel like it's something wrong with them, but also have some compassion for a person that you once dealt with. Clearly you share some type of friendship or intimacy or something with this person, and you're just going to throw them to the side like they're trash and not say a word. That's not cool. And it's not hard to just say, I thought I did, but I don't. They still not gonna like it. I'm not saying that it's, I'm not saying that it's gonna be, sweet peaches and cream and roses, but at least you said something, and now they can go on knowing it is what it is. A lot of people that get ghosted that I talk to, and this is what really bothers me, a lot of people that have been ghosted that I've talked to and done readings are still stuck, still hurt. Even if they're not stuck, they're still hurt by that trauma that didn't need to be. It's so easy to tell a person, I'm not interested. It's so easy. So I agree with you. All right, guys. That was our last one. So you go out there and treat some people good today. And you come back soon because I got a lot more to say. See you later.